Can tattoos affect your health in any way? Find out on this next episode of Digest This.
Welcome to Digest This, the show that helps you revolutionize your digestive health. Here are your hosts, Dr. Liz Cruz and Tina Nunziato.
Hello, and welcome to Digest This. I'm Dr. Liz Cruz, and I've got Tina Nunziato sitting right by my side. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are a first-time listener, we welcome you. If you are one of our regular listeners, we welcome you, and we thank you for being on this journey with us. So let's talk about tattoos. Yeah. So Tina found this article that was quite interesting and intriguing, and we thought it would be a great article to share with you. For those of you that are watching us, we do have some notes because we want to make sure that we include all the important points. And honestly, this is not us giving an opinion on tattoos, okay? Because we have family members that have tattoos, and so this is not us at all judging or giving our opinion on it. They have beautiful tattoos and we tell them. All we're doing though is just putting out information.
The scientific side
of tattoos
Yeah.
that even for us is new learning.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh wow, okay, I didn't know that. And I think you felt the same way when you read the article. So we're just sharing the information. You do with it whatever you want.
Yeah,
okay?
it caught my attention because our oldest son has been getting tattoos.
Yes.
And it's crazy because he says once you start, it's very addicting, which I know my brother also has a lot of tattoos and he said the same thing. So I think for those people that have a lot of tattoos, I don't know, maybe it would be interesting for you to know if you're considering a tattoo.
Yeah.
Maybe this information would be interesting to know. I mean, just things to watch out for as you're getting tattoos, I think is helpful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, like I said, we learned some new stuff on here. So here's the thing. When you get a tattoo, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. You're putting ink into your skin, but it's not just the top layer. You're going in a little deeper because the whole idea is for that ink to become permanent. I think one of the biggest concerns that was expressed in this article was how that ink can affect your immune system. And the immune system, I mean, that's very important because your immune system, you want it to be healthy to keep you healthy. So I thought that was really intriguing. And honestly, what they did make clear was that the scientists that are doing these research studies are just starting to understand it. I don't even know if you could even say any of this is gospel, but it does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
It does make sense. And I do remember when I was in medical school, I remember hearing stories of autopsies that were done, especially on older women, where their pituitary gland, which is housed up in the skull, was colored. It was dyed. And that was typically, they felt, due to that woman probably dyed her hair throughout the years. And so you got to ask yourself, like, where does that ink go? Okay.
Right.
Because it does penetrate through the skin.
Yeah. I mean, and we just did a podcast on chemicals.
Yes.
Right. In
yes.
the body. And so this was kind of a follow-up to that, where look, we're constantly being exposed to toxins, chemicals. So this is, again, when you get a tattoo or you dye your hair, you're just exposing your body to more chemicals. Right. And the skin, I don't think people realize it, but the skin is our largest organ.
Yes.
And I don't think people see it like that. I think they believe, because look, one of the cool thing about the skin is like, it's this coat that goes around all of our organs to keep everything intact, but it is connected to everything. It's part of what keeps us well.
Yeah. And it is, it's the largest organ. And that's the thing, is that a lot of people don't think of the skin as an organ,
right.
But it is an organ.
Yeah.
And
it's all connected.
It's all connected.
So if you're going to inject yourself with something, whatever's in that something, your body is being exposed to.
Exactly.
Right? So, and the other thing I thought was interesting about this article with the scientists were saying that it's kind of a hard thing to study because, first of all, they started studying it because tattooing is becoming very prevalent today. There's a lot more people today.
People don't even blink an eye anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just a subset of people. It's like almost everybody is out getting tattoos.
Right.
But what they were saying is that because tattoos are on our body, like when you get a tattoo, now you've got it long term, right? You've got it for the rest of your life.
Right.
I mean, you would have to study someone over the course of their whole life, right? To
Yeah.
determine if the tattoo ink is affecting any part of their body. So these studies would take a
Yeah.
very long time, and they're just getting started on a lot of these studies. So,
Exactly. Yeah. Because, like is that person, if they have a group of people that have fresh tattoos, follow them at every year. What's going on with them in 10 years? What's
Right.
going on with them in 20 years?
Right.
So, yeah, this is definitely a new area of study, scientific study, as far as how it could potentially affect your health in the long run. Let's just talk about the actual tattoo ink. Basically, it is a chemical mixture. It has pigments, you've got with coloring. Also, there's carriers, liquid carriers that help to distribute that ink, preservatives to prevent microbial growth, which I didn't even think of until I read the article. I mean, it's true. You're injecting something. How are you going to prevent that from infecting, your skin, and just like impurities, small amount of impurities. So, and a lot of the pigments that they currently use were originally developed for more like in the industrial application area, like for car paints, plastics, primer, toner.
All things you wouldn't think about injecting
Exactly.
into your body.
Not for
right?
injecting in the human skin,
But it's there, and that's what it's used for.
Exactly.
And that's what they started using.
And some of them have heavy metals.
Yeah. Which
some
we
of
were just
these-
talking about, exposure to heavy
just talking
metals.
about that.
Yeah.
Exactly. The dyes, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. Some of those azo dyes are synthetic colors that are used in textiles and plastics.
They were talking about the difference too between the black dyes and the colored dyes, which I thought was also very interesting.
Yeah.
So like the colored dyes, there tends to be more inflammation and allergic reaction when people use colored dyes like red, yellow, orange in their tattoos. There tend to be more allergic reactions, again, because of the chemicals used in those colors, that people have literally physical reactions. They were talking about that there's a lot of people that after they get a tattoo, they decide they don't want it anymore. Now they go into the process of getting the tattoo removed.
Right.
That process also contributes to the toxicity entering into the body and can mess with the ink and how it gets distributed throughout the body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And anytime anything foreign gets in your body, it's the automatic thing. Your body is going to try to get rid of that foreign object. And if it doesn't know what to do, it builds like an inflammatory reaction around it. Some of these foreign bodies, these toxins that we're exposed to or that we put into our body will also go to the lymph nodes, which are little structures that we've got hundreds and hundreds. They're little tiny structures scattered throughout your body through which viruses and bacteria and toxins get filtered through. And the whole idea of the lymphatic system is to keep your body clean, to keep your bloodstream, your blood clean. At this point, there really isn't enough scientific research out there to know how it's going to affect us. All we know though is that we are putting something into our bodies under the skin. There are inflammatory and immune reactions that can occur. Your lymph nodes are getting involved, your lymphatic system. And so it's something definitely to be concerned about, like what Tina was also talking about, like with the tattoo, with the dyes, with exposure to sunlight. Some of those chemicals also will release vapors of other chemicals that have in some studies been linked to genetic abnormalities and to some cancers. But again, I think it's just way too soon to know. There's not enough research at this point.
Yeah, and there was something else that talked about that even up to 10 years after you get a tattoo, it doesn't even have to be like, let's say right after you get it, you go get sun exposure. It could be 10 years later, you've had a tattoo over the course of the 10 years. Now maybe you've gotten a sunburn.
Right.
You went on a boat and now all of a sudden you can be getting an immune reaction. So if this has happened to you, it is possible that these things, do happen, because people are like, oh, I've had this tattoo for 10 years. How could this be happening to me now? It's because those chemicals underneath the skin are still reacting. And if it gets exposed to sun or too much sunlight, it can trigger, a response. And then look, our bodies are changing as we get older. Our immune system changes, and where maybe your immune system was able to fight it off all these years. Now all of a sudden, maybe something's lacking in your immune system and it can't fight it anymore. And then it causes a reaction. So all that is very possible. Doesn't matter, when you got the tattoo. Yeah, basically.
Very true.
Yeah,
very true. And I like that this talk we're doing now because it does tie into one that we just did last week, talking about toxins and talking about those mercury, for example, the fillings that we have, fillings that we got as kids into our cavities, and you still can have vapors, mercury fillings, and you still can have vapors of this mercury being released in your mouth, which then goes into your body. So there are a lot of things that we are exposed to, even things that we have in our body, things that we put in our body, like maybe, ink, tattoo, where as Tina already mentioned, years down the road could still be affecting you. Women who get breast implants, depending on the type of implant. I mean, that's a foreign object that's being put in there. And so your body, it's a foreign thing, and it's your body's natural response to want to try to get rid of it. Your body is always working to try to heal and to try to get rid of toxins. Who knows what will happen in the future? I mean, definitely people have been getting tattoos for decades, but I just don't think that it's raised enough concern in the scientific community to really do like a ton of research, because there's really not a ton of it out. But it sounds like now there's going to probably be some research studies that are going to be, heading towards trying to determine what happens in the long run. How could these affect your health adversely in the long run, 10 years, 20, 30 years from the time that you get a tattoo.
And as far as our commercial for this episode, so we're talking about the immune system. Best thing you could do for the immune system are the probiotics. Okay. So this is our commercial for this podcast. If you have tattoos or want to get tattoos, get on some probiotics, help to keep your immune system strong, help anything you could do to fight any bacteria or immune responses that your body is going to react to. So it'd be a great thing to add to your overall health of your body. You don't have to be hurting with digestive issues to take a probiotic.
Exactly. You just want to have that desire to be and stay healthy. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. If you have not connected with us, please connect with us. Go to our website, drlizcruz.com. You can schedule a free 30-minute wellness consult, and it's done on the phone, so you can do it from anywhere. If you haven't rated us, please rate us and please give us a 5. It helps other people just like you to find us faster. And lastly, if you have not subscribed to our podcast, please subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you on the next podcast.
Thank you for joining Dr. Liz Cruz and Tina Nunziato. To learn more about their revolutionary products and services, go online to www.drlizcruz.com.